Hello, I'm Food Daniel, here to give you my predictions for the WFA games to be played on April 15th. That's week 3 of the season. Before I do, I'm going to give a very brief rundown of a couple key games from last week and give you my random garbage thoughts on it. Okay. DC Divas beat the New York Sharks 21-18. Hey, good on the Sharks for keeping it that close. But that's 2 straight games the Divas have played where the score has been closer than expected, and it really makes me wonder, without Allie Hamlin, are these Divas really still at the same level as the Bostons and Chicagos, or is this something that'll work itself out? Intrigue, suspense, drama. We shall see. Okay, the Hampton Roads Lady Gators beat the South Carolina Smash 6-2. Congratulations to the Lady Gators, their first ever win. Yes, and it happened in only their second game. There you go. So, brand new team, first win in their second game. And as for the Smash, they won last week to get their first ever win. Now they have their first ever loss, so now they know what it feels like. So, well done all around. Okay, a game that I got totally wrong. The West Michigan Mayhem beat the Indy Crash 15-14. I predicted West Michigan to lose that game. So, well done, West Michigan. You surprised me. After forfeiting their first game, here they go, beating the Indy Crash. Impressive stuff. Tampa Bay Inferno beat the Miami Fury 24-21. I predicted Tampa Bay would win, and I can't remember if I predicted it to be close. I think I did. If I didn't, I should have. That's great to see. It's great to see a close game, and it's great to see that Miami, after taking a year off, is still able to go toe-to-toe with the best team in Florida and keep it within 3 points. I don't know if they play each other again in the year. I imagine they do. That'll probably be very exciting too. I like it. Austin Outlaws beat the Acadiana Zydeco 46-42. Defense is a tool of the heteronormative patriarchy. Nah, seriously, I'd love to know how many times the lead changed hands in that game. I'd love to know how many people were in attendance. 46-42, those high scoring games that are close games. That doesn't happen very often. I know it happened last week, the Pacific Warriors San Diego Surge game. Now here we got another one. 46-42, great stuff. Okay, Arlington Impact beat the Arkansas Wildcats 30-14. The surprising thing is how close the Wildcats kept it. I was expecting it to be an almost gruesome game, but no, the Wildcats kept it to within 2 touchdowns. That's good stuff. And coming off of the Wildcats' convincing win over the Zydeco in week 1, this tells me this is a much better Wildcats team. They got a lot to feel good about. Okay, another game that I got wrong, and I think everybody got wrong. The Seattle Majestics beat the Portland Fighting Shockwave 24-21. After week 1, the Majestics, they beat the Southern Oregon Lady Renegades by a surprisingly close score, 9-0, and a lot of folks, including myself, were saying, why did the Majestics only score 9 points? What's wrong with their offense? Well, now they've answered. Nothing at all. They're just fine. It's great to see that the 2 best teams in the Pacific Northwest give you a good, close game. Love it. And the last one I'll talk about before I get on with the predictions, the game I attended, La Muerta de las Cruces beat my beloved Utah Blitz 12-0. Well, right off the bat, first things first, congratulations to La Muerta de las Cruces, their first ever win in their first ever game. They take the field for the very first time in weather that they're totally unfamiliar with, and they come away with a win. That's got to feel great. And even though I predicted them to lose, they were very friendly and gracious to me, and I left the field, feeling like I had just met and made like 12 new friends. That's a good feeling. They gave me playful ribbing about it. Their coach actually invited me into the locker room so their players could give me playful ribbing about getting the prediction wrong. And I don't mind at all. That's great stuff. And that's precisely why I make it a point every year to see at least one team that I've never seen before, because that's how you make new friends. That's cool. As for the game itself, very heavy winds, very heavy rain turning to snow, freezing cold. You've seen the videos I've posted about it. So there was almost no passing at all because the wind made it impossible, and there were fumbles everywhere. Surprisingly, though, I think there were only like 2 or 3 turnovers the whole game, but nobody could hold on to the ball on either side. So, would the outcome have been different if it was played in good weather? I don't know. I've never played football. I've never so much as put on a helmet in my life. I know that weather is an equalizer, but I don't know how much. But all things being equal, I and pretty much everybody expected the Utah Blitz to win this game. I mean, when you play a team that's never done this before, you do expect to win. So, this is embarrassing for the Blitz, but not too embarrassing because, again, the weather was making all sorts of things happen that wouldn't have happened. So, to the Blitz, yeah, feel embarrassed, but not too embarrassed because, your next game, you'll take on your next opponent, you'll do much better. As for La Muerta de las Cruces, I imagine some of them are still on the way home as I film this on Monday at 2 o'clock. I'm watching the Giants opening day game now. Congratulations on your first ever win, La Muerta de las Cruces. We'll see what happens in your second game. It'll be very interesting to see. Okay, and now, if you're still awake, here are my predictions for Week 3. Montreal blitz the New York Sharks. It's a short schedule for Week 3, only about half as many games. Okay, Montreal blitz and New York Sharks. Two of the top teams from the Eastern Conference, the IWFL, now in the WFA. This is Montreal's first game of the year, while the New York Sharks are coming off of that, close loss to the DC Divas. Okay, these two teams have a great rivalry with each other going back several years. I don't know exactly what the, franchise record against these two teams they are. I want to say the Sharks have the upper hand, but I might not be right. Whatever happens, I do expect the Sharks to win, simply because I'm really impressed by, how well they played against the Divas. I could be wrong, but I'm going with the Sharks. New York knockout at Connecticut Hawks. Each of these teams, I believe, is 0-1. I know the Hawks lost last week to the Black Widows, 32-12, while the knockout lost to the Keystone Assault, 27-12. Okay, so they each have one loss. Each of them put up 12 points. I don't know anything about these two teams except they're both Tier 3. So I expect this will be a good scrappy game. Who's going to win? I do not know. Home field advantage, not much to be gleaned there because the New York knockout from the upstate town of Schenectady, if I'm pronouncing that right. That's not too far from Connecticut, so I don't think travel is going to make that much of a difference. No prediction. I don't know enough. Hampton Roads Lady Gators, the Richmond Black Widows. Okay, the Lady Gators, again, coming off of their first ever win, having defeated the South Carolina Smash 6-2. Against the Richmond Black Widows, who are coming off of a 32-12 victory over the Connecticut Hawks. I expect the Black Widows to win this one. And the Black Widows were impressive last year as a first-year team, winning the Tier 3 Eastern Conference. So, yeah, I expect the Black Widows to win this one. Okay, Cleveland Fusion at the Pittsburgh Passion. Okay, everybody, including myself, expects Pittsburgh to win this. I wouldn't mind being wrong, though, because I say it every year. I like Cleveland Fusion. I think they're only just a cut below, the Pittsburgh, Boston, DC, Chicago. And I hope, this is a year they finally get into that upper echelon. I don't think it's going to happen this game. I think Pittsburgh will win, but I would love to be wrong. Not because I dislike Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh. But I also like having more teams competitive at the very top. West Michigan Mayhem at the Flint City Riveters. Okay, the Mayhem coming off of that 15-14 win over the Indy Crash, while the Flint City Riveters, they got defeated by the Toledo Rain by a close score of 15-0. Okay, I expect a low-scoring game. I expect West Michigan to win. I don't know too much, so that's all I can really say. I expect West Michigan to win. Derby City Dynamite, the Tennessee Train. I'm afraid I don't know enough about either of them. I have to say no prediction. Carolina Phoenix, the South Carolina Smash. Gruesome win for the Carolina Phoenix. Oh, and the pressure's on the Carolina Phoenix. Now if there's a South Carolina team, pressure's on you to change your name to the North Carolina Phoenix. Okay, to Florida. Tampa Bay Inferno at the Daytona Wave Runners. Tampa Bay is the best team in Florida. Tampa Bay will win this game. Orlando Anarchy at the North Florida Pumas. Okay, the Pumas, I know they lost their first game to the South Carolina Smash 8. Yeah, to the South Carolina Smash 8-0. And I believe last week's game was a forfeit, or maybe they didn't have a game at all. It's not listed on the game schedule. I think somebody said it was a forfeit. I don't know. But whatever the case, they've never scored a point yet. While the Orlando Anarchy defeated the Daytona Wave Runners in Week 1, 37-0, which tells you something's much better in Orlando than it was last year. So Orlando will win this game. Acadiana Zydeco at the Houston Power. The Power are coming off of a 58-0 loss to the Dallas Elite. But of course, that means nothing. But in week 1, they also lost to the Arlington Impact 54-0. So, this is a Power team that is Tier 3. While the Zydeco, they lost their first game 39-12 to the Wildcats. And they lost their second game to the Austin Outlaws 46-42. So this team does have offense, while the Power still haven't scored a touchdown. So I expect the Zydeco to win this game on the road, yes. To the Northwest, Seattle Majestics, the Everett Rain. Okay, the Majestics, they've reestablished themselves as the top team in the Northwest, while the Everett Rain lost to the Tacoma Trauma 6-0. Seattle will win. Southern Oregon Lady Renegades, the Portland Shockwave. The Shockwave will win. Yeah, the Shockwave, they may have lost to Seattle, but they kept it real close. And so did the Lady Renegades. But the Renegades had no offense against Seattle, and the Shockwave did. Shockwave will win. Okay. I cannot attend any game this week because I have a music-related function I have to attend. But if I was going to attend a game, this is the game I'd go to right here. The Kern County Crusaders at the Ventura Wolf Pack. Okay, Kern County Crusaders, a second-year team, formerly the Bakersfield Bombers. Not only they've never won a game, they've never scored a point. While the Ventura Wolf Pack, this is their 4th season, and they have never won a game. So one of these two teams is going to get their first ever win. And even if the Crusaders don't win, they can still achieve the moral victory of getting their first ever points. I would love to be at this game. Somebody's going to come away with their first ever win, and that's going to be a thrilling moment for them. I would love to be there to capture it on film. And people who are attending that game, if you have your cameras when the game ends, film that reaction of them winning their first ever game. Film that. Whoever loses that game, don't despair, because on June 3rd, you got a rematch against each other. A rematch that I might attend. That'll be very fun. Who's going to win? I cannot say. I do not know. Wolfpack, they played 2 games, got shut out twice. Crusaders played 1 game, they got shut out. Is it possible for a team to win a game 0 to negative points? If it's possible, it'll happen at this game. Okay, Minnesota Machine at the Mile High Blaze. The Blaze will win that game handily. I'm thinking about saying gruesome, but maybe not, but the Blaze will win, yeah. And finally, the Music City Misfits are hosting a non-league opponent that's unspecified. If I had to make a wager, I guess that's the Carolina Queens. I cannot predict because I don't know who the opponent is. Okay, so that completes my predictions and random musings of the previous week for the WFA, heading into week 3. Thank you.